They can click Shadow Sneak now, but it's just not very strong. They never got a Sword Stance or Bulk Up or anything. Bulk Up Sterilage could have been a huge problem. That's what, 5 flinches in this game? Last week I featured Garganacl, Scyther, and Sylveon, but those were not the only interesting Pokemon to get results in the recent regionals. This Espathra team was used by Davide Carrere to get top 4 at the Frankfurt Regional. And so it's Psy Spam, but the Psy Spam attacker is a little bit unusual. Now, Espathra, don't get me wrong, it's a strong Pokemon. It's definitely pretty broken under the right circumstances because Speed Boost is just a very powerful ability, and Lumina Crash creates a lot of openings for special attackers, which on this team mainly means Espathra itself to break through the opposing team. But yeah, pretty straightforward stuff here. Terra Psychic, Life Orb, Psy Spam, and of course it will passively gain speed over time. I'm a little bit surprised actually that this team doesn't have a way to deny Trick Room, but it does, I guess, have other tools into that. This Indeedee gets to run Protect because it's not even running Trick Room itself. As for the teammates, we've got the Psychic Seed, Unburdened Sneasler, so a physical threat that also goes turbo fast. And yeah, I guess to check opposing Trick Room and Psy Spam stuff, we have defensive pieces like Intimidate, Hisuian Arcanine, Hydreigon, which of course is immune to opposing Psychic type attacks. There actually are 2 Dark types on this team with the Hydreigon and the Assault Vest Kingambit. And Hydreigon also immune to Ground, because it has Levitate, and it can Terrastalize into a Ghost type, so it's immune to all of the attacks that Ursaluna commonly runs if you Terrastalize it, so that's definitely part of the Trick Room matchup there. And actually it does have a way to deny Trick Room as well. It has non-Prankster Taunt, so you can taunt Trick Room setters even in Psychic terrain with this Hydreigon. And you can also Snarl opposing special attackers, and then you have the Special Bulk on the Assault Vest Kingambit. So the duo of Espathra and Sneasler, both powered up in different ways by the Psychic terrain and both able to boost their speed, supported by the Indeedee, bring some very powerful and fast offense to this team. And then you have something of a backbone with the Hydreigon and the Kingambit, as well as a very interesting Hisuian Arcanine set. I don't know everything that this Arcanine does necessarily. I guess Close Combat makes sense to me as you need answers to opposing Dark types with this team, although they also have the Sneasler and the Dazzling Gleam on Espathra. Even so, then it's running its 2 stabs, and this is, as you can see, Mirror Herb Arcanine. Very interesting tech. You can intimidate Pokemon with Defiant, like Kingambit and Annihilate, and then you copy the Defiant boost that they get. This has been a thing in Reg Age for a while. People were even running Mirror Herb Incineroar at one point, though I never tried it myself. But Mirror Herb Arcanine should be even stronger than that. So this is a little bit different from any other team I've tried in this format, but it definitely looks very strong, and it has the tournament result to back that up. I'm going to jump on the ladder in a moment. First, as usual, these days, as usual, I took a look for the creators' EVs. I did not find them. However, Davide played a couple of streamed sets where his perspective was the one streamed, and he happens to have brought all 6 Pokemon across those sets, so I was able to get their exact HP values from the stream VOD, and for most of these Pokemon, that was a significant chunk of their EVs right there. I was able to guess at the rest, and for the Pokemon that don't have much HP investment, like Espathra and Sneasler, that's probably because they're pretty much all in on offense. So I think I'm reasonably close to the creators' EV spreads this time, but I am going to be missing some nuance still. Especially with the speed numbers on some Pokemon, probably. In any case, let's see how this holds up on the ladder. What, like a little bit? I'm recording this, what, like a week and a half after the event, I think? We'll go up a couple weeks after the event. Anyway. I haven't been running into teams like this, but that doesn't mean it's not good. It almost certainly is good. Okay, Incineroar, Sneasler, Archaladon, Garchomp, Corviknight, and Amoonguss. So, they have a Dark type, they have a Steel type. 2 Steel types, but like one is bulkier than the other when I'm thinking about the Psy Spam mode, and also not weak to my fighting coverage. I probably want a Draco Meteor the Archaladon if I get the chance. I can Dazzling Gleam it maybe. I kind of want to just lead Indeedee Espathra because that's the most basic thing that I know how to do with this team, but the Incineroar could be an issue there. But how do I deal with Incineroar? Bring Arcanine and switch that in on it, or I could lead Kingambit actually. I could definitely lead Kingambit into this team. I might be pressured to Terra Flying by their Sneasler. That's not the end of the world. Indeedee King Gambit? I'm talking myself into it. Also, it's follow me, Rocky Helmet, and Indeedee, so I might not necessarily be pressured immediately by the Sneasler. Although there's not a lot that King Gambit can do back to it, although I have Psychic on Indeedee. I don't know that this is correct, but I'm going to bring these 4. That's what I've talked myself into. I also think Arcanine might be good in this matchup. They lead Sneasler and Corviknight, so no Incineroar lead, which is what I was worried about. I guess, yeah, that was a little bit silly of me, because if they see a Defiant Pokemon at preview, they're not likely to lead Incineroar. So I kind of baited myself into leading the King Gambit there when that was probably not the best idea. Well, in any case, I'm just going to pivot out to Espathra, I think. I think I'm just going to click Psychic into this Sneasler and switch King Gambit out to Espathra. Not really worried about Espathra taking close combat. They actually just click Coaching with Sneasler, and it has a Focus Sash, so it takes the Psychic from Indeedee. They taunt Indeedee. Sneasler probably has Unburden active right now, but in any case, I think I want to protect Espathra turn 1. Corviknight could set Tailwind, so the speed control game is not really in my favor here, but let's give this a go. And I'm just going to click Psychic into Sneasler again. They take the opportunity for a second Coaching. So we knock out Sneasler, but at what cost? I don't really have a threat to Espathra on the board, or to Corviknight on the board right now. Amoonguss is here. I can just click Expanding Force and Psychic into Amoonguss. I still need to beat the Corviknight somehow. And Expanding Force damage isn't terrible. Probably has Mirror Armor, so I think if I click Lumina Crash into it, that's not favorable for me, right? But Corviknight's taken some damage. Not a great amount of damage. I don't really have a good way to threaten Corviknight either, because Hydreigon only has Draco Meteor and Snarl for attacks. And then King Gambit is a physical attacker, so I probably just lose to this Coaching Corviknight combination. I was so focused on the Sneasler attacking that I didn't cover for this. I also need to get rid of this Amoonguss before it just puts all my stuff to sleep. And Corviknight, as a Coaching recipient, it could be running Body Press. It'd be pretty unfortunate if I Terra Flying and find out that it's not running Body Press, but I'm going to assume that it is. So I do Terra Flying here. They just Brave Bird. Yeah, and I turned off my resistance to that. That's what I was afraid of there. But given that it also boosts its defense along with its attack, I thought Body Press was a pretty reasonable guess as to what it might do. At least Garchomp can't wipe me out with Earthquake here. That's something. Indeedee, I think Indeedee Helping Hand into Sucker Punch and basically hope I crit is like my only play here. Okay, Indeedee stays asleep. They don't attack with Corviknight. Oh, did they go for Roost? I mean, they had the free KO on a King Gambit there, right? If I clicked Kowtow Cleave instead, I still didn't get the attack off. Yeah, so I just lost to Corviknight once it got set up, I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's anything I can do about it, really. I'll try to take out this Garchomp and play out the end game, but I think Corviknight just sweeps. So what can I have done? I mean, I guess I needed Arcanine. Arcanine is tricky here too, because with Mirror Armor, I start with an attack drop, right? Oh, but if I'd led Arcanine and they clicked the Coaching, then Arcanine would have gotten the Mirror boost, wouldn't it have? Crit? No crit. One more chance. I actually think I do win with a crit. Crit? No crit. Okay. Well, there was still a chance on that last turn. Oh, there's still another turn. I don't know if a crit does this much, but crit? No crit. Okay. Yeah, do I need Arcanine to beat a Corviknight? Or do I just need to target Corviknight early? The problem is that relies on me anticipating that the Sneasler is going to quit Coaching, which I didn't anticipate at all in this game. Maybe I should when I see Sneasler with Corviknight. But it might just be a tough matchup for this team. I don't really see a clear and obvious way through it. Maybe the answer... Also, Corviknight probably has like Terra Dragon or something. But then if I bring Arcanine and I pressure out the Terra, then I can beat Corviknight with Hydreigon. So even though Mirror Armor is an issue, but the answer probably is that I have to bring Arcanine to a matchup like that. But it's still tough. This is hard Trick Room. Oranguru, Farigiraf, Torkoal, Ursaluna, Araquanid, and Rillaboom, and they rejected open team sheets, so I wonder what they think they want to hide here. Araquanid runs Wide Guard, so just blasting them with Expanding Force is not the answer here. They have 2 possible Trick Room setters, but I don't think we see both of these on the field at the same time, so I think the Taunt Hydreigon is a very strong lead into this. It's also, like, Hydreigon just matches up well into their whole team except Araquanid. If I lead it with Arcanine, then I can Intimidate Rillaboom right away, and Araquanid, and Ursaluna, and have a Rock Slide threat into Araquanid. If it clicks Wide Guard, it's not clicking something else, so that's not bad for me. Alternatively, I could do the Terraflying King Gambit and look to Terra Blast Araquanid, or I could just go with Sneasler. I actually think I like the Terraflying King Gambit here, but I'll bring Arcanine. And I think I'll bring Sneasler, and I think I'll leave the Psy-Spam duo behind this game. Hydreigon looks amazing in this matchup. Okay. Rillaboom and Oranguru. I think I Terra Ghost immediately. It means that I can't Terraflying the King Gambit, but I don't want to get faked out and let them set Trick Room. Terra Ghost, I called out earlier that it makes Hydreigon immune to Ursaluna's Facade. It also, of course, is a fake out immunity, and that means I can taunt the Oranguru. So, great Terra for this team. No doubt. That does mean I don't ever get to Flying Terra Blast the Rillaboom, but I'll just click Kowtow Cleave into Oranguru here. They actually fake out the King Gambit. I guess not anticipating the Taunt Hydreigon. Oh, Mental Herb. Ah, okay. So they do get Trick Room up. And I've turned off Hydreigon's Dragon typing, which makes it actually kind of vulnerable to Rillaboom. So that's the downside to that play. I'm still going to try to get rid of Oranguru, because Oranguru is just a nightmare Pokemon, in my experience. They're doing what they can to protect it. They U-turn out against King Gambit. They get Torkoal in. That is really scary, given that I've gotten rid of a Fire Resist on my team. I can Sucker Punch Torkoal. There's no Psychic Terrain. It probably kind of sacks King Gambit, but it might be worth it, because Eruption damage is going to hurt a lot, especially when they have Instruct on the board. Alternatively, I could sack Sneasler, but it doesn't have a Sash, so it doesn't... I do think I want to pivot Arcanine in, but I actually think... I don't know if this is correct, but I think I'm just going to Sucker Punch Torkoal, try to weaken those Eruptions. Fair Fire... It'll get to use Eruption twice. Yeah, I don't think that was worth it. It'll get to use Eruption twice with the Instruct. Arcanine does take that pretty well with the double resistance, but well, not that well when they get the second one. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Hydreigon. And yeah, Arcanine takes more than 50%. I'm just gonna protect both Pokemon this turn. Get double Eruption. I think that still knocks out anything I have. So the Sucker Punch into Torkoal was not at all worth it. Torkoal's too bulky for that. I guess I'll sack... Do I sack Sneasler here? I think Arcanine is more valuable than Sneasler in the late game, even with it having taken some damage. And I'll go for the double Protect on Hydreigon. Maybe I'll be lucky. No. So that just wipes out both of those, and I need Arcanine to solo the whole game, which I don't think is going to happen. Especially since I don't have Rock Head, so if I click Flare Blitz into Oranguru, I can't really do that. Too much damage. I could flinch it with Rock Slide. I think that's what I need at this point. Oh, but then I just get faked out by Rillaboom. I see. Alright, yeah. So the Mental Herb Oranguru getting Trick Room up turn 1. I talked up how strong this team looks, and it does look strong. I think I'm making some pretty simple mistakes in how I use it, but I also don't think I needed to Terrasilize Hydreigon turn 1 this game. I think with a little bit... I think thinking it through a little bit more, I could have called the fake out into King Gambit instead of Hydreigon. But yeah, so I'm not quite playing this team right, but I am definitely having a lot of trouble in these matchups that I'm getting so far. I think my opponent might have said something in chat right at the end there, but I closed the window too quickly to see. Yeah, I'm definitely getting punished for like ever making a mistake with this team. I will say that about it. I got Rabombi here. I've seen a choice Spectra Bombi recently, not on the ladder, but like someone shared a paste. I wonder if that's what this is. With Incineroar, Rillaboom, Sneasler, Electabuzz, and Palafin. This one looks like it's also good. This team also looks like it punishes mistakes, just kind of generally. Hydreigon is super strong into this, except the Ribombee is an issue, so all the more reason it makes sense that they have it. I could lead in DD Sneasler, get my Unburden right away. I think I'd like that. I think I'll bring King Gambit. Strong into the Incineroar. Kind of like to bring Arcanine. I do have Terra Water on the Arcanine. Problem is, I mean, Arcanine Intimidate is very valuable into this team. It's just a question then of how I position it from there. I also could bring Hydreigon. I'm gonna go with Arcanine. Okay, this one actually does lead Incineroar. So much for what that lesson from the first game of this video. I'm going to Dire Claw the Palafin slot. I want to catch something coming in. They DC'd. And yeah, Follow Me will redirect a Parting Shot, or maybe even a Flare Blitz. Certainly a Flip Turn. Or a Wave Crash. So yeah, it is a strong team, but it's definitely not the easiest to use. I'm, like I said, making a couple of mistakes each game so far and getting punished hard for them. Okay, I got the Dire Claw into Rillaboom, that's good. No, I don't, because they get to Fake Out. Right, okay. Yeah, they do get to do that, don't they? Well, I don't think I really care about Psychic Terrain. It is nice for stopping Jet Punch. And I actually have a pretty free switch to Arcanine here. Free-ish. Let's still try to hit this Rillaboom. Sorry, what I was thinking about there was, do I preserve in DD or not? And at first I was thinking probably don't need to, but I do think it actually is of some value still. And it doesn't cost me too much to do it. Now they Fake Out Sneasler and they get a crit through the Intimidate, sure. Sneasler is just getting beaten down here. I don't think I'm going to be able to preserve the... See, now I have the Unburden boost, and now I have a giant problem again, because Arcanine can individually match up well into either of these guys, but not both of them at the same time. You know what? I'm just going to look for some Dire Claw cheese into Palafin. I need something going for me here. They finally don't have Fake Out on the board this turn. They will next turn. They get another Intimidate into Sneasler. We do stop that Jet Punch. They can, of course, get Rillaboom right back in. I don't get any Dire Claw status. The only way they can Fake Out is if they switch Rillaboom back in. I'm trying to get King Gambit in. And Dire Claw the Palafin if they'll let me. They protect it, okay. Knock off into King Gambit, removes the Assault Vest, not that important here. Kind of want to Terra Flying and try to catch a Rillaboom, switch in. The problem is actually that they can Jet Punch King Gambit if I do that, because it becomes a flying type and is no longer protected by terrain. I mean, I think I can just double this slot, and that puts some amount of pressure on them. You know, either I'm damaging, maybe statusing the Palafin, or I catch Rillaboom switching in. There's no switch. Dire Claw, once again, does not roll a status. It's not going to be Covert Cloak Palafin, is it? Sneasler's knocked out. They have Flare Blitz on Incineroar. I was kind of gambling that they didn't, but we do KO Palafin at pretty significant cost. And they still have the duo of Incineroar and Rillaboom that this Arcanine is just not really equipped to deal with. Like, if I Terra Water to get through this, I think I just lose the game to Rillaboom, right? Alright. Let's go back to Indeedee and protect Arcanine, and what I'm looking to do is have the Follow Me available after this turn. This is a messy game for sure. It's Grassy Seed, Sneasler. I mean, that figures on this Rillaboom team. That actually does give Arcanine a defense boost with the Mirror Herb, though, so that's pretty nice. That might actually prove important, but they also have Swords Dance on their Sneasler. Okay, but... Oh wait, actually, Palafin being knocked out means I don't have to Terrasilize Arcanine ever now. Except the Sneasler's a threat. Sneasler's a giant threat. I'd like to click Psychic into Sneasler. I think I will. If they KO Arcanine with this close combat, well, sucks for me. Terrifire the Rillaboom. They don't attack Arcanine. Get a big U-turn into Indeedee. That does a little bit of damage back. They get Incineroar on the field. Now they can switch Rillaboom in and Fake Out. But also they intimidated Arcanine. I'm going to keep aggressively Psychicking the Sneasler if they'll let me. They could switch Rillaboom back into that slot, but I want to get this thing's boosts out of here one way or another. I'll protect Arcanine. It's a little bit predictable, but I'm under, as usual so far with this team, I'm under a lot of pressure. I need things to work out. Well, I mean, again, I need to be making better calls in these games. Make better use of this team. But, yeah, okay, they just knock out Indeedee with +1 close combat. So I'm never getting that Psychic. Here's King Gambit, but King Gambit is not really positioned to do much of anything. I can Terra Flying. I don't think it really makes much difference. I'll do it anyway, because maybe somehow I actually get this Terra Blast off. I guess I'll go for Rock Slide. I'm never clicking the Terra Water on Arcanine in this position. Protect Sneasler. Flinch? Nope. I can Sucker Punch now. Let's Sucker Punch Rillaboom, I guess. Grassy Glide priority comes out first. That's what, 3 games, 3 losses with it? I'm not winning this one. That's what, 3 games, 3 losses with this team? And again, I don't think the problem is the team. I think the problem is the player. But I also do think this is a difficult team. And that's probably why I have not been seeing much of it since the regional about a week and a half ago. Gonna play until I win one at least. Rillaboom, King Gambit, Sneasler, Dragonite, Gastrodon, and Chandelure. Ceruledge, that's what that's called. Chandelure is a different Pokemon of the same type. So again, I'm thinking, can I Espathra Psy-Spam this? I don't really get Psy-Spam in the current format, to be honest. Like, Psy-Spam has always been one of the strong Reg H archetypes. It's been around from the very beginning of the format, but I feel like whenever I play it lately, I just run into bad matchups all the time. Maybe I just don't know how to play the matchups. But, like, personally, I would not take Psy-Spam to a regional right now, I don't think. Clearly, it's still working well for some players, but maybe it's just not for me in the current meta. That said, trying to get a win with it before I end this video, but I don't know if I bring Espathra to this one. Do I need Espathra to beat opposing Sneasler, though? I'm getting put under a lot of pressure by Sneasler when I don't throw Espathra at them. Maybe that's a big part of what I'm doing wrong. Right, because Espathra can set up a couple of speed boosts and maybe like 3 speed boosts depending on the Sneasler set. Outspeed Sneasler. Alright, I've talked myself into it. Let's just do this lead. I'll bring Arcanine. It's really strong into Rillaboom and to an extent King Gambit and Ceruledge. And I'll bring... Spend so much time talking, I almost ran out of time. Bring Hydreigon. I don't think that's correct. I don't really know why I'm bringing Hydreigon, but I was about to run out of time. Probably needed Sneasler, actually. Okay, Sneasler, Dragonite. They can switch Rillaboom in, so it actually does matter what I target with the Expanding Force, if that's what I go for here. And I am going to Helping Hand. And I'll Expanding Force the Sneasler slot. I'm down to catch a Rillaboom switching in there, if that's what happens. There's no switch. Dire Claw Espathra. They don't get a status. I don't think we've seen a Dire Claw status in this video. Knock Sneasler down to Sash, do a lot of damage to Dragonite, but we will lose Espathra in return. And Dragonite will get Scale Shot boosted. I think I have to go Arcanine here, pretty much. Good news is Indeedee, Follow Me, into Rocky Helmet can take out Sneasler. I'll just click Rock Slide. I can see them switching now because these two Pokemon don't like being intimidated. Sneasler should be faster than Dragonite. So if they do just attack with Sneasler, we knock that out. Yep, that does happen. Scale Shot into Indeedee. Will it KO? No. Single target Rock Slide into -2 Dragonite. Connects. For once, for what feels like the first time in this video, though I'm not actually keeping track, I am up in the Pokemon count. Ceruledge could be a problem because it probably has Flash Fire. It's a question of its Terra type, I think, largely. That said, I can Terra Water Arcanine here to have a lot more survivability against the Gastrodon. I'm just going to Helping Hand Terra Water Rock Slide. It is Terra Grass, Ceruledge, and I can't Flare Blitz it. It's surely immune. Takes a decent amount from the Rock Slide, and I do finally get not just one Rock Slide flinch, but actually two. That's the power of Rock Slide right there. And even if they Bitter Blade Arcanine, it's resisted. It probably won't heal them too much. Okay, we missed this Rock Slide into Gastrodon. I care more about hitting Ceruledge. We flinch it again. That's crazy. This poor opponent. Kind of feels like justice from my point of view after the earlier games. Not really. I'm kidding. I didn't play the earlier games very well. But it surely does not feel like justice to my opponent. Let's see if Gastrodon flinches here. Oh my god. Oops. They can click Shadow Sneak now, but it's just not very strong. They never got a Sword Stance or Bulk Up or anything. Bulk Up Ceruledge could have been a huge problem. That's what, 5 flinches in this game? Bulk Up Ceruledge could have been a huge problem with Close Combat Gastrodon now. But they just never got a chance to get going. This is so rough for this opponent. This is... At least if they see the video, they can't complain that they were portrayed as a bad player or anything. Yeah, they DC'd. That, yeah, I might call it a day on Showdown if this happened to me. I mean, play enough Pokemon and it happens to everyone at some point, something like it at least, but 5 flinches in this game is, let's be honest, unreasonable. That is a win, though. Did finally get a win. This still feels like kind of a short one, and I haven't made a ton of progress figuring this team out. Like I keep saying in the video, I think this is a difficult team to use, and I think Psy Spam is just not a great playstyle for me in the current meta. It's working well for some people, has not been working well lately for me. I think what I'm going to do, though, because the Espathra was the big draw of this team, I think I'm going to keep playing until I lose one more game, and I'm going to bring Espathra to every game. Might only be one more game in this video, but we'll see. Alright, we got Rain. Pelipper, Chaldon. Finally, they don't have a Dark type or a Terrain Setter. Pelipper, Chaldon, Basculegion, Whimsicott, Goldango, Blood Moon, or Sluna. Still a scary team with a lot of speed control. I'm just going to throw Indeedee Espathra at them. How do I beat our Chaldon? Probably with Draco Meteor. Maybe Close Combat if I don't give it Stamina Boost first. Actually, all 3 of these have fighting coverage. I can see Sneasler being good in this game for sure. It is Throat Chop Sneasler, so it's helpful into Goldango. I can Close Combat Ursaluna, I can Dark Claw, Whimsicott maybe if the position is right. And I think I'd probably bring Hydreigon. It's bad into Whimsicott, but it's good into the rest of their team. Let's go. There's probably even a case for leading Sneasler instead of Espathra, but let's just do this. But yeah, I do think I understand why I haven't been seeing this team all over the ladder. You have to really know what you're doing with this one. Whimsicott, Goldango. Okay, Goldango is a problem. Goldango's a huge problem. It can set up. There's not a lot I can do back to it. I think I'm going to switch Indeedee out to Hydreigon. Or I could go Sneasler. If I can remove the Whimsicott. Sneasler gets a special defense boost immediately. Terra Dark. Throat Chop. Close combat if they Terra Steel. There's something there. I'll go Sneasler. And Expanding Force. I think Goldango clicks Nasty Plot, because I've kind of gifted them a good position for it. Oh, we crit Goldango with the Expanding Force. That's a good start. And I'm wrong, they actually just go straight for Make It Rain. Could be a choice to Goldango. Don't see as many of those in this. Never mind, it's Life Orb. Okay. Well, losing Espathra turn 1 isn't ideal, but it did a lot of damage on the way out. And I feel pretty good here. If they Tailwind, Unburdened Sneasler should still be faster than Goldango. I can redirect a Moon Blast away from Sneasler, so I feel pretty good to Throat Chop and follow me here. Take out Goldango. They do Moon Blast. Into Indeedee, of course. Who's coming in next? Ursaluna. I can see that terrestrializing, so I'm going to try to cover for that by protecting and clicking Psychic into Whimsicott. I would like to take the KO on Whimsicott if I can. But yeah, I'm just trying to scout whether it's a Terra Ghost or something before I commit a close combat to it. It being Ursaluna, of course. Also, they only have one Pokemon left in the back, so they don't have Pelipper and Basculegion, or Pelipper and Archaludon, so that's nice. Tailwind. But Sneasler should still outspeed anything, especially since they're not setting up rain for their Basculegion. We take out the Whimsicott here. It is Basculegion in the back. They can no, they can't Aqua Jet because Psychic Terrain is up. But just to cover for any weird cheese, I'm going to close combat Ursaluna and I'll click Follow Me. Just cover for any cheese from the Basculegion. Close combat one-shots Ursaluna. They never used their Terra, did they? Probably Terra Normal Ursaluna. A lot of them are, and it's not helpful to them in this position, so that'll probably be why we didn't see it. Hydreigon should be able to clean up from here. I never had to terrestrialize Sneasler, even though I talked about it earlier. But we'll just... actually, I might as well do it now. Get a stronger Throat Chop into Basculegion. Follow up with Draco Meteor. You can see, like, Terra Water. Terra Ghost. Okay, yeah, not what they needed here. Alright. Finally, an actual solid win where I didn't just hacks my way through. Like I said, playing every game with Espathra until I lose is, at this point, the goal of this video. This opponent also doesn't have Terrain or a Dark type, so I guess I just needed to keep playing until I mean, you can't rely on that in a regional, right? Like, obviously, Davide had ways of dealing with Terrain and Dark types. But for me, at my much lower skill level with this team, I guess it was just a matter of playing long enough to get some decent matchups. Triple Dragon, though, that's really something. Triple Dragon, Double Steel. The Double Steel part is not amazing for Espathra, but Arcanine should go pretty crazy into this team, right? Like, do they have anything for Arcanine? Goldango's threatened immediately. These guys are intimidated. Archaludon is, I guess, more of an even matchup for Arcanine. I think I just want to lead Arcanine into this. Maybe with Sneasler? Or with Hydreigon. Hydreigon is kind of neat because it can Draco Meteor stuff, especially Archaludon, and it can, well, sorry, but not so neat because it's threatened by Ninetales. I think I'm going to do Arcanine Sneasler with Indeedee and Espathra in the back. I don't know if Espathra is really all that valuable here, but I have committed myself to bringing it to every game at this point. Okay, so they lead their Pokemon least threatened by Arcanine. They're Archaludon, and also just Ninetales doesn't care about Intimidate. Fair enough. Is it going to be Power Herb Electro Shot? Could be. I think I'm down to just pivot Arcanine out to Indeedee here and Dire Claw Ninetales. This will give Sneasler a special defense boost. Yeah, that's the main thing I get out of that right now. And I just preserve Arcanine to intimidate stuff later and maybe beat their Goldango. A lot of Goldango run Terra Water, but, you know, at least Arcanine pressures it. Terra Ghost on the Ninetales. Dire Claw's resisted, it crits. Still no status. Has there been a single Dire Claw status in this video? It is Power Herb, Electro Shot, or Archaludon. We take that somewhat better with a special defense boost. Do I want to take out the Ninetales here? The Archelodon is more threatening, and I have to beat it somehow eventually, but we'll take the easy KO on Ninetales, I guess. DD is only going to take one of those Dragon Pulses before it goes down. Archelodon behind Aurora Veil is actually extremely threatening here. I almost want to protect just to kill a turn of their Aurora Veil. Maybe I could have done that last turn as well. But I don't especially want to give up Psychic Terrain turns that could be valuable to Espathra. Actually, Lumina Crash is probably part of the key to beating Archelodon. Maybe I needed Hydreigon in this game because I could Lumina Crash into Draco Meteor. That's probably a big part of how this team beats Archelodon. I'm going to look for damage into Archelodon here. I'm going to Helping Hand in close combat and hope for big damage. Big number, let's go. Oh, that's a big number. Of course it's sturdy Archelodon on this team. I don't know why I didn't take that seriously. They Tailwind. I'm going to go Espathra to keep up with their speed control. I'm going to click Psychic into Archelodon. They might know to attack Indeedee, but if they target Espathra, they just hit this Protect, and Indeedee gets to go for the Psychic. Dragon Pulse into Espathra. What does Dragonite do? Scale Shot. Misses Indeedee. I guess we take those two, and we take out Archelodon. And that leaves them with Dragonite and Garchomp. Garchomp is pretty threatening. Garchomp is super threatening because it can Earthquake. That wrecks Arcanine until it Terrestrialized, but I can't switch Arcanine in safely on this. And I also can't redirect Earthquake with Follow Me. I don't really get the Terra Dragon on Indeedee. I mean, it's a valuable defensive type in a lot of matchups, but I keep getting positions like this where it actually just makes Indeedee faint more quickly. I'm going to click Follow Me. I don't know if it'll actually help me here, but if Indeedee can take like a 4-hit Scale Shot or something, it might be valuable. And I think Dazzling Gleam? No. It's not going to work. Okay. I guess I just needed to go for a double Protect with Espathra there to keep up with their Tailwind. Go Arcanine. Intimidate these guys. It's Inner Focus Dragonite. That makes sense. Protect, and then I lose the Garchomp anyway, right? Because I don't have good damage into it. I mean, a Terra Water. I guess a Rock Slide because that's my only damage into my only significant damage into Dragonite. But yeah, I only got one. I'm pretty sure I lose this game, and that means I only got one clean win with this team. And then that win where I got 1,000,000 flinches, which is a win, but not so clean. I mean, you know, that still counts the same as the other kind in a tournament, but yeah, I have really struggled with this team. This is definitely it's not the only time I've struggled with a successful tournament team, but this is definitely the worst one in a while. Worst in terms of my performance with the team is what I mean. I'm not calling the team bad, but I am calling the team hard to use. I've done that many times in this video, and I absolutely stand by it. Could Hydreigon have made a difference in that game? Maybe, but I think it still loses to the Garchomp Dragonite duo in the end game. So yeah, huge shout out to Davide Carrere. You need to really know what you're doing and have a lot of confidence with a team like this, I think, to bring it to an event and to make top 4 with it. Really cool stuff. I don't know how long he's been working on the team or, you know, what went into the building process, but after trying it out myself, I'm very impressed with that result and the skill that it had to take. Even though there's a lot that's strong about this team, the skill that it had to take to execute successfully at that level. Yeah. If I were going to a Reg H event, I don't think I would take Psyspam, but some players are still doing well with it. Shout out to this specific player, and shout out to everyone else who is making these interesting teams work. I had a rough go with this one, and I'm ready to move on to whatever is next now. If you try this team out, yeah, I hope you're on your game.